Γεια σας και καλώς ήρθατε to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Lemony chicken soup, also known as Avgolemono, never disappoints. And I've already taught you how to make several versions of it. I've taught you how to make the Instant Pot version, the classic Greek version. They're all so delicious. Today I'm going to teach you how to make it with cheesy tortellini. Let's get started. So we're going to start off with these boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I always have them on hand. They stay juicy when you cook them, most of the time, no matter how long you cook them. But I'll let you know that chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breast, also works in this recipe. So use either one. Go ahead and put it in a pot with about 5 to 6 cups of cold water, season with a little bit of salt, and bring it to a boil. Cook this for about 20 minutes or so, depending on which cut of meat you're using. Chicken breast cooks a little bit faster than chicken thighs. Mine took about 25 minutes. Once they're ready and fully cooked, take them out of the broth and set the broth aside because we are going to use that along with some chicken stock later on. And go ahead and put the chicken in a plate. Wait a few minutes until it's cool enough to handle, or if you're in a hurry like I am, you can use 2 forks and kind of shred the chicken up on a cutting board, and anytime you see little chunks of fat in there, if there are any left, you can just take them out and discard them. Put the chicken on the side, and at this point you want to have all of your ingredients lined up because the recipe moves really quickly. So I have a handful of baby carrots here that I'm using. I always have baby carrots on hand. You can use 1 or 2 carrot sticks if that's what you have, like longer carrots. Peel the carrots and dice them up. I'm just going to dice these little baby carrots up and put them in a pot with a little bit of olive oil, about 2 to 3 tablespoons, and let them cook over medium-low heat for about 7 to 8 minutes or until they're nice and tender. Now, next we're going to get the eggs ready. So I'm going to separate 6 eggs. I'm going to leave the whites for another recipe, and I'm going to use the yolks for the sauce that we're going to add at the end. I'm going to add a teaspoon of cornstarch to this and the juice of 2 to 3 lemons. You can make the soup as lemony as you like. You can start with 2 lemons and then add more lemon juice later on. Whisk that all up and set it aside. And then I also have a pound of fresh tortellini pasta. I like to buy the 5-cheese tortellini from my local Costco, and it usually comes in a double pack. So I made a delicious butternut squash and tortellini soup the other day, and I actually bought the tortellini for that recipe, and I had this leftover pack, and I thought, why not make a delicious lemony chicken soup with it? I mean, who doesn't love tortellini, right? If you don't have tortellini, you can use like the plain orzo like we use, or rice. You can even use ravioli for this. That would be great, but have it ready so that way it's ready to go in the pot. Once the carrots are nice and tender, I've grated 4 garlic cloves. I'm going to add them to the pot and just let it warm through for a few seconds until they're fragrant. Then I'm going to go ahead and add 8 cups of chicken stock. This is not the broth that I made on the stove when I was boiling the chicken. This is homemade chicken stock. You can use store-bought chicken stock. Go ahead and add it to the pot along with the remaining broth that the chicken was boiling in. You're going to need lots of broth for this because the tortellini really loves to soak up the liquid, and you want to have a soup. You don't want this to be like tortellini with some sauce on them, right? So go ahead and strain that broth into the pot. I also like to add a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. It's not a traditional Greek ingredient, but turmeric is so healthy. I always add a little bit to it, and it also adds a beautiful yellow color to the soup, which I love. And I'm also going to add a little bit of freshly cracked black pepper. And you can add the chicken in at this point as well. Once the mixture comes to a boil, everything moves again really, really quickly. So add the pasta. If you're using fresh tortellini pasta like I'm using, the package instructions on mine says that it needs 2 to 3 minutes of cooking. So I'm going to add the pasta with the egg lemon sauce together. If you're using dry pasta, like a dry tortellini, it usually takes about 8 to 10 minutes. So go ahead and cook that until the pasta is fully cooked for the amount of time that the package says. But if you're using the fresh like I am, add the pasta along with the Avgolemono sauce, which is that luxurious egg lemon sauce, and bring it to a boil. Reduce it to a medium and let it cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. It's going to start to thicken a little bit, but not too much. It's still going to look sort of watery and soupy, which is fine. But as it sits, the pasta is going to thicken the soup a little bit more, and it's going to be the perfect consistency. Let it sit for about 10 minutes so that way you can see what it's going to look like, or you can serve it straight away, topped with some fresh parsley. Give it a taste at this point, and if it needs more salt and pepper, you can add it, and it's ready to serve. All right, so it's time for the taste test. I would have never thought to put a cheese-filled pasta in a lemony chicken soup, but the combination goes so well together. It's light, it's bright, it's fresh tasting, so comforting, and cheesy too. So you get the best of all worlds. The exact measurements are on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Give it a try and let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.